Oh man, that was horrible. I was getting it in. All right, so today's presentation, and I apologize for the interruption, but we back to where we could be at. And I'm gonna rock out real quick, so I don't want to hold nobody up. I'm glad Mo called because I sure thought I had some sound on this joker, but I forgot I had muted it because I had stepped away to let up the garage. All right, so Na-Anakpo Ogbanje, the title of this presentation. I want y'all to look that up so you'll know exactly what it means and me not kind of crossing you up. I'm gonna leave it on the screen for just a little bit so you can kind of get in depth with the actual uh, speaking. All right, so let's rock out. We good? Let's go.
Five, four, three, two, one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Banye to the Igbo can mean many things that negatively impact one's way of life, like having instances of bad occurrences with health or constant run-ins with bad luck in the family. When the Igbo wanted to define misfortune, Ogbanje seemed to be the best way. Through mythology and folk tales, the legend of Ogbanje could only be explained by African genius in which that storytelling gave wisdom and understanding to his people. I believe that Ogbanje may be an expression of the laws of understanding of nature, and in the expression we could comprehend what could not once be understood. It's my hypothesis. So in our outline, we're going to take a look at who are the Igbo, defining Ogbanje, understanding the power of Ogbanje, the Igbo folklore, mythology, conclusion, and sources. By the way, I'm in Facebook jail, so I cannot share the link. It will not post. So people asking me for the Zoom, it's not letting me post the Zoom right now. It's telling me, it's giving me an error. The Igbo people are located primarily in the southeastern area of Nigeria and constitute one of Africa's largest ethnic groups, with a population of approximately 25 million. Although the large majority of the Igbo people live in the southeastern part of Nigeria, Igbos are also found in neighboring countries such as Benin, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, Ghana, Libya, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Senegal, and the Niger. The migration paths the Igbos walk to get to their current territory in southeastern Nigeria is still a debated issue. According to one theory, the Igbo could have migrated to Western Africa from as far as Egypt thousands of years ago. Traditionally, the Igbos have placed a great emphasis on land and farming, and this, coupled with their will to work hard, helps shape their mental and spiritual frame of reference to this day. In this culture, working the land and tilling the soil is seen as making a person closer to the good earth and nearer to the generous God. It can be said that the Igbos have developed through time an effective religious system that sustains them. This entry looks at their belief system and at their experience during time of slavery. The Igbo religious way of life promotes a personal and positive connection with their family and people, nature, water, and the earth, the sun, the universe, fire, and the god and goddesses. According to the Igbo cosmology, two worlds exist, spiritual and physical. The two worlds are distinctive. Although also deeply interrelated and interdependent, the spirit world is inhabited by at least four distinguishable sets of entities. First are the spirits that have become disconnected from the physical bodies at the time of death, indici, ancestors. Some of them have reached their destination and lay in the spiritual space of good spirits. Others, in contrast, who have failed to do so, sometimes make incursions into the physical world and cause misfortunes among the living. The second set of entities is personal spirits, your chi, guardian. The Igbo believe that every human has been endowed with a chi, and at the time of their birth, the chi is responsible for the source of life and destiny of the individual. Now, the third set of entities is the spirits connected with nature and non-human entities, alusi. Those such as the earth, sky, the sun, the water, never had physical human bodies. Finally, the fourth set of spirits is the evil spirits of Ulashi, adversary of Chi, the Akalogli. The Igbos believe those evil spirits to be humans who became completely wicked and enjoy inflicting pain and grief on humans. So let's define Ogbanje. Ogbanje is a personality disorder that describes someone who is not true to their God-given nature and talents in spite of the excess of good attributes. Ogbanje can be extraordinarily handsome or beautiful, achieve meteoric success, but die prematurely without making any lasting mark. They are believed to be part human and part spirit. Their fate intertwined with the one or two spirits who intercepted them at birth and renegotiated their fate to include serving them in the world. In exchange, they are given fame, wealth, or beauty, but always a short life. Achibi reviews the Igbo cosmology, creation myths, and concepts of Chi, which is a divine creative spark imbued in persons by the supreme deity Chi Ukwu in Emre or Anabalua. I botched all of that, by the way. Are the spirits whose pacts contradict a person's chi and create the alienated personality of Ogbanje. Now, in Ogbanje, strictly Ogbanje cannot be substituted with Ogbanje. The Gib or the GB forms a single consonant in the Igbo language. It's a term in Odinani, Igbo Odinani, or for what was believed to be an evil spirit that would deliberately plague a family with misfortune. Please pay attention to what I'm actually explaining right now. Its literal translation in the Igbo language is children who come and go. It was believed that within a certain amount of time from birth, usually not past puberty, the Ogbanje would deliberately die and then come back and repeat the cycle, causing the family grief. Female circumcision was sometimes thought to get rid of evil spirits, whereas finding the evil spirits, i.e., Uar, which they had dug somewhere secret, would ensure the Ogbanje would never plague the family with misfortune again. The Iuua was the Ogbanje's way of coming back to the world and also a way of finding its targeted family. The dead child would be cut or mutilated so he or she would not return. Some Ogbanje, however, were said to return bearing the physical scars of the mutilation. All right. So the belief in Ogbanje in Igbo land is not as strong as it was before, although there are still some believers. Sometimes the word Ogbanje has been used as a synonym for a rude or stubborn child. Sickle cell anemia might have contributed to this belief, as the inheritance of the disease within families may have led people to conclude that the children involved were all from the same malevolent spirit. The word Ogbanje is often translated as channeling due to the similarities they share with the fairy changeling of Celtic and broader European mythology. Both serve as mythological ways of understanding what were once unknown diseases that often claimed the lives of children, such as SIDS and sickle cell disease. Remember that. Ogbanje, a bhikkhu, refer to people who are believed to cycle repeatedly and rapidly and repeatedly through birth and death. A consecutive familiar sequence of births and deaths of infants is construed as the same child dying and being reborn over and over again. The Igbos believe that Ogbanje resulted from subdivisions of human destiny by willful alliance of the newborn with deities who guard the postulated interference between birth and pre-birth spirit existence, while the Yoruba attributed many abuku to possessions of a pregnancy by spirit pranksters, most often referred to as emir. Surviving persons manifest abnormalities of psychological life with vivid fantasies, life of dreams characterized by the presence of water, uh, orgiastic play with unfamiliar children, and frightening contact with a water goddess, Mammy Water. Labeled children and adolescents often exhibited manipulative, histrionic, uh, disassociative, and other maladaptive behavior. They may also be gifted. Contradictory and facultative practices of excessive indulgence and of ostentatious hostility towards Ogbanje Abuku children are described but are better understood as exhibitions of acceptance of life and rejection of death. This paper reports one study of deployment of cultural cosmology in shaping individual and group adaptive responses to high infant mortality in Nigeria. Now, Ogbanje is an African concept that states that there exists some set of spiritual and advanced special souls who come to earth for a more special reason. These sets of souls are known as the Ogbanje in Igbo language. These set of people are widely believed in traditional African writing and oral mythology to be people who incarnated from the marine world and possesses some sort of magical powers to command their desires. We're going to take a look at an author named Fidel's account of two types of Ogbanje children. Now, in the accounts, we're going to recognize some things that I've actually already stated. There should be a developing pattern here to help us understand the Igbo when dealing with this particular Ogbanje or deity or whatever. Excuse the noise. They are highly revered and at the same time discriminated in the society because of the mystery surrounding their births, lifestyles, and deaths. Ogbanje, as we know it in Igbo speaking areas of Nigeria, has the same meaning in Ndoki language as Owu. Yorubas calls it Emire. Many other tribes and people of the black race are aware of their existence, and their names vary depending on the language and dialect, but they exist in our tradition even as I write this article. And Ogbanje has no definite sex. An Ogbanje can be a female or a male child, as I am one myself. Fidel. One of the major misunderstandings concerning this topic in our society is the fact that people do not know that there exist two different sets of Ogbanje child. We have the ones who come to earth only as a punisher, and this type is used by the universal powers that be to fulfill the law of karma. Now, let us talk about the Ogbanje child who comes into a family as a sort of punisher to the parents, especially to their mothers, and let's recapitulate the reasons why they do that. Natural laws exist and always in motion at times. The laws of karma supersede every other law as it's one of the most important. The way I will give my explanation of this phenomenon and of the Ogbanje child will or may likely differ from popular opinion, and that is because I bring you these teachings from a much earlier and ancient African spirituality. I put every aspect of mysticism and spirituality and contemplation and thoughtfulness, every aspect of natural and universal laws is also put into consideration in his words. So let's read his words. What is so mysterious about the Ogbanje child? Is it their beauty which dazzles like the morning sun, or their aura which they usually exude? Is it the powers they possess which allows them the liberty to sometimes, if by the will of their higher self, can create things others may consider a miracle or mystery? Or is it the mysterious way they usually depart the earth, or the telltale signs that accompanies them during birth? Perhaps it's the luck that and the blessings that come with at the time of their births. As many parents do experience wealth at the time of their births, or is it the bad looks and the negative things that happen to those who offend them by making them angry? However, and whatever be the mysteries, these set of folks are really special people and should never be discriminated. Truth be told, every traditions of the world recognize these special people and acknowledges their existence. India, for example, celebrates even worship of Banye children for the fortunes they usually come with. Even the Western worlds and the American continents know of their experience. Parents who do not acknowledge their Banye child, that is, parents who do not care for them and chooses to neglect them or make them suffer, usually are indirectly punished in the sense that their home may be divided, no more money flow, and so many problems in the family may be created. Peep game. No charms or power can ever break such. No prayer, no pastor can ever bring peace and wealth back into such parents unless their duty responsibilities to the Abanye child is accepted and their goddess and gods from that realm they come from are appeased. Then everything will be in its place once again. Many people truly are unaware of this knowledge. Without first learning to understand the truth behind the Abanye child, many religious people decide to tag them evil, and based on their religious creeds, they discriminate the Abanye child. This is a natural phenomenon that science and religion has never refuted, yet the Abanye child is demonized in Africa since the advent of the white slave masters who imported their religion and culture, then forced them upon the African ancestors. They demonized it because they could not explain the mysteries behind the Abanye child, hence the need to demonize them and phase them out. Smiles. Man naturally fears what he does not understand. Ogbanje is not evil, contrary to what Christianity says. An Ogbanje child from the second category possesses some sort of powers to heal the sick, bring fortunes, and they usually come to the world as consolations to barren women who have been in the quest for the fruit of the womb. Some women, especially Abanye women who know themselves and what they stand for, usually attract them consciously, having known the type of people they are. The Abanye child has one very important task to earth people. The task is to bring in healing to earth. In Nigeria, the Abanyes are very common with the riverine areas of the country. States like river states, cross river states, Akwa, Ibom, Abia, Imo, Bayelsa, Anambra, Edo, etc. are traditional priests who is a friend of mine vividly told me that on his visit to a traditional function in the Fugwa area of Achu, that is, was there, he was told, I say or Ishe means the same thing with Abanye. The black race is being deceived into embracing the white man's foreign culture, but they forget that white people will never accept any of the black man's culture and ideologies. So we're going to deal with the story of Abanye, the child of thunder. This is episode 1 of 5. It's a few minutes, and after that, you'll hear my conclusion. If we need to go back, we'll go back and elaborate. However, I'm not going to go through all 5 episodes. I'm only going to give you one. So there'll be a description, and then there'll be a story behind it. Please pay attention to the story to see if it correlates with what was said earlier in the presentation about the Abanye when it came to the breakdown and understanding the Igbo, etc. This is the story of Ogbanje, the child of thunder. A long time ago, before white men found their way into Africa, in the small village of Udom amongst the Igbo legends, myths abounded. Amadia, son of Olisa, was greatly served by the people of Udom. It was said that Olisa, otherwise been known as Chokwu, has 3 children. Njokiji is the guardian deity of the yam for the Udom people. He made their yams to be healthy, that a day was made for Njokiji to celebrate him. Ikinga, a deity too proud for his name, was always given a benefiting sacrifice. Every full moon, a maiden must be sacrificed to appease Ikinga. It has always been their tradition. The first son of Olisa, Amadia, was the strongest of them. He is represented with a white ram and his color is red. His day is Afar, which is the 3rd market day. He is considered as gentle deity among his brothers and also the cruelest amongst them. Ikinga has always been jealous of Amadia and has always wished he had the powers of Amadia possesses. He went as far as his jealous ways to meet with his father's enemy, Ekwensu. Together they all planned to bring the downfall of Amadia. One day Amadia didn't know what came over him and he struck the village of Udom with thunder and lightning. Were it not for the intervention of his father, Alicia, the people of Udom would have been wiped off the map. Because of what he did, the people swore never to engage anything that has to do with Amadia again. Amadia was soon forgiven. Amadia became a myth that was told as a story of how he nearly destroyed Udom. Now in Udom, in the village lived a young couple that was just newlywed. And a conversation between the young couple goes like this. Chief, hope my meal is ready because I'm heavily famished. Chief husband Okuru said as he dropped his farm tools and sat down near his sulking wife. He saw the look on her face and proceeded to ask, Chidima, what is wrong? Okuru was all well-to-do farmer, right? He was one of the respectable people in the village. He has had 3 barns of yam at his disposal, amongst other things. In fact, he was seen as one of the richest men in the village. She replies, this is 2 years of our marriage. We have been living as husband and wife, yet no fruit to show. What have I done to Ikinga to deserve this punishment? She said quietly. Okuru shakes his head and held his chin in his hand. I have told you, we just have to be patient. Ikinga will give us a child, if not children. We are just 2 years in our marriage. There are many more years to come, so don't cry. Chadina nodded her head and then she smiled. Her mood changed quickly. I am sorry I acted this way. Food is ready. Let me go inside and bring it to you. Okay, go and bring it. I am greatly famished. Fast forward 10 years later. A shout pierced the peaceful night of Udom. It was coming out from Okuru huts as some of the villagers made their way to the hut of Okuru. It has happened again. My enemies are at work. Okuru said to his viewers as they watched him crying hysterically. His wife Chadina was not left out. She was seen crying her eyes out with her dead son in her arms. Odikwu u nawu u, which basically means, what is happening, Okuru, to you and your family? First it was Adana, who died, and now your son is dead too. What is really happening? Ikigu asked his childhood friend Okuru after everyone had sympathized with him and Chadima and had left for their various homes. He says, if you ask me, who will I ask? I have did everything instructed by king of orders, but still yet it happened again. This will be the 3rd child we are losing in just 12 years of our marriage. Hey, my friend, I am confused here. I think you should go and appease Ikinga again, Ikubu said after a while. How many times do you want me to appease Ikinga, Okuru asked. How will I know? I'm only saying you should go and meet the chief priest and tell him to beg a king on our behalf. I have said my own, Akuru. Akuru heaved a sigh. If you say so, I would do exactly what you said. Chidima, who had been eavesdropping on the conversation, came out after Akinga had left. You want to appease Akinga so that he would kill my child again? Not this time. We have no other options than to dance to the tune of Akinga. He may be testing our patience to know the kind of people we are. Testing who, she says. Our people say, if there's a will, there's also a way. I would not go to Akinga's shrine and appease him again. After all, we have wasted a lot of cows, goats, and various type of things just to appease the god called Akinga, Chidima said. So what do you expect me to do? What do we do? Akuru asked. Chidima started smiling. It is now that you came. My late mother once told me about a strong Adiba in a village nearby. He is a very powerful Adiba. They say his own God listens to him. I want us to go and visit him, Chidima explained. But there's no harm in trying. We will set for Uduma village first thing tomorrow, and do not tell anyone about this. You know women's mouths are too wide to keep a secret, right? I don't want to hear anything. So the next day, the couple journeyed through the village and went straight to Adiba after asking some of the villagers the directions to a shrine. When they got there, they were surprised when the Adiba told them, I have been expecting you since. You are highly welcome to my abode. You can sit down. The Adiba pointed out to the raffle mat positioned near his guards. Chidima and her husband, Okuru, sat down fearfully. As if their fears, he said, don't be afraid. You have come to seek solutions to what has been happening to your family. Am I not right? You are much right, wise one. We came all the way from Udum to Uma to seek a solution, and we were told only you can help us with our problems, Chidima said. The demon nodded his head. He turned and faced his guards, taking his gong and started beating it. The heavy masquerade that is asleep, I wake you up from your slumber. After beating his gong for a while, he turned and faced the couple. Your children that have been coming to you are all Ogbanje. Children, even the one in your womb now, will die after 5 years on earth. Chidima expressed shock over what she heard. She kept a firm hold on her stomach. Akura was not left out. He too was so shocked. Wise one, please, what do you advise us to do? Please, we don't want to lose another child again, Akura pleaded. Betty beat his gong again and turned to face the couple again. It is said when a tortoise walks slowly, a plan taking shape in his cunning head. Well, there's a way to stop this child you are carrying from dying. You did the right thing by coming here. Please, what can we do to stop my child from dying, Akuru asked. If you are ready, then I will have to send away the Ogbanje evil spirit in the child's body. After that, the child won't die. In fact, it will protect your other children coming, the Adiba told them. Wise one, we are ready, Chidima replied. Very good decision, the Adiba said. He said when the incantations and a black cloth appeared in his hands, he handed it over to them, Chidima taking it from the outstretch of Adiba's hands. Whenever you want to sleep at night, make sure you put the black cloths on. This black cloth signifies that you already know about its origins and you are exposing it. Wear the cloths till the child is delivered. Make no mistake every night. If you miss a night, then all your efforts are in vain. Thank you, wise one. Okor and Chidima thanked the Adiba. And one more thing. After the child is born, bring he or she here for the final cleanse together with the black cloths. You may now go. They left the Adiba with a great joy in their hearts. Now, in conclusion, Ogbanje seems to personify behavior, health condition, negative energy, or emotion that spawns a reaction that has changed the circumstances and the way of life in every person it has encountered, rather than positive or negatively. Ogbanje could be defined by science as a genetic disorder due to our understanding of health issues that are passed down genetically by one's parents. Socially, Ogbanje can be related to a psychological response called schizophrenia, when Ogbanje hunts the mother for its behaviors or actions when one aborts a child or leaves the child in a bush for death. Or maybe Ogbanje is better defined as a personality disorder that triggers every abnormal behavior we see in most people that have this condition. Through mythology and folklore, Ogbanje, a belief, can transcend its meaning in many ways scientifically, and maybe at the time of its inception into the minds and hearts of the Igbo, it was best described that way. When reviewing the many interpretations of Ogbanje, we noticed that truthfully, it was just a way for the Igbo to really explain their natural world and cultural understanding. In India, Ogbanje could be named Karma or Vishnu by the Chinese. Yeah, my sources.
How do you think your ancestors got things? You think they paid a fair price? Or did they take it, but they took everything else?
History is a clock that people use to tell their political and cultural time of day. It is also a compass that people use to find themselves on the map of human geography. History tells of people where they have been, what they have been, where they are, what they are.
That concludes the story of Ogbanje. But just to kind of revisit it before I actually close out, um, let me get to the Igbo. When the Igbo was talking about, they have two different worlds, right? You have the physical and the spiritual world that they believe in, and when they were trying to explain things, or I would say understand things, this is something people are still trying to grasp today. Um, Let me look in the chat. Yeah, appreciate that. My apologies for the early audio issues as I was on mute. However, this if you missed it, you should be able to go back and review it. You probably got to fast forward through the earlier part of the bill in order to grasp what actually was taking place. But hopefully, we can get a better cultural understanding of the Igbo and how they were trying to understand that natural world through explanation using mythology and folklore. Um, I don't think that this will be long. It's probably only about 30 minutes. I think I spent the first few minutes on mute, and then I had to go back and correct it. Appreciate the thumbs down. Appreciate the thumbs up. So that's cool. Uh, I need to edit something though. So I'm looking in the chat, man. Anybody got any questions or something related to the presentation? I know some people came in extremely late, but hopefully we got some kind of understanding since some people say that you know, there's no science involved in what some of these people were saying or identifying some of this stuff. So all right, so it looked like we ain't got no questions. I ain't gonna hold y'all up, man. I don't know if Suchek or um, one of them going live, but if they do, check out Kofi Podside TV as they will be live from there. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully Kofi will be back soon as well. He enjoying, I think he in Miami. So that's always good news there. And appreciate y'all time, man. I'm gonna update this video. Ain't nobody got any questions, and then I'm gonna end. So I know y'all got stuff to do. All right, appreciate that. Lafayette, Sister Lily. Okay, y'all take care, man. Enjoy. I'm out.